Hey, what's ready? Welcome back to News Dose, and it's been a leaky start to the year for Xbox. Last week, a lot of their future lineup leaked out online. We talked about that in a previous video. But now today, allegedly, one of their big announcements for their Xbox Developer Direct slipped a bit early. And then to add to that, we've also been hearing about another Xbox game that may not release, but will instead be replaced by a sequel that I think a lot of fans will be very, very happy about. So we're going to talk about both of those today, plus an update for the PlayStation 5 Pro that sounds fairly exciting on paper. First, though, I do want to thank my supporters on Patreon and on YouTube memberships. Thank you just so much for what you do, and you will receive this video through early access. Let's go get right into things, though, starting off with the studio behind Deus Ex, Eidos, Montreal, because according to a LinkedIn account, they're currently working on a quadruple-A game as we speak. Now, a lot of people do scoff at the idea of a quadruple-A game as just a simple marketing tactic, but as Insider Gaming pointed out, they can actually corroborate this rumor because they've heard from their own sources that Eidos Montreal has been working on a new IP codenamed P11, and it's been in development since 2019. They said that P11 is Eidos Montreal's new IP, which according to sources has been in development since around 2019 and has faced significant setbacks and issues along the way. It's understood that the project has seen hundreds of millions of dollars invested, which unsurprisingly would warrant that quadruple A tag. And unfortunately, I don't think that quadruple A is a marketing term anymore like some people believe. I think it's a real term to kind of coincide with the ballooning cost of big, costly games. We're now well past the point of AAA games just costing around $100 million to make. Now we're seeing games that cost $200, $300, or even $400+ million to make, and that's where the term quadruple A is starting to come into play. Now, hopefully this will turn out well for Eidos Montreal. Sounds like it's not been a great situation, but I do like them as a studio. The last two Deus Ex games were actually really good, but at the time, I do kind of question their judgment to spend that much money on a brand new IP. So, we'll see what happens, but considering it's been in development since 2019, then we should hear about it in a more official manner sometime soon. Oh, and we also got some updated numbers for Stellar Blade thanks to Sensor Tower data, and this is actually super impressive. According to them, it's gone on to sell 6.1 million units worldwide, which is, that's pretty crazy for a new IP, but what really impressed me personally is that 2.4 million of that number comes from PC. And that's actually really interesting because it was a one-year timed exclusive for the PlayStation 5, yet it's still selling extremely well on the PC platform, and it's quickly catching up with the PlayStation 5 version. A lot of times staggered games struggle, but that's not the case for Stellar Blade, and I think that speaks volumes about its appeal to gamers. If anything else, it's pretty clear as to why Shift Up gave a sequel a green light pretty much immediately. It has been a stellar success for them. I just hope this time that it launches on PC day one because, clearly we're seeing a lot of love from that platform. There's a lot of fans on PC, and Stellar Blade is now one of the most successful new IP of the generation. So, big congrats to them. Now, there's also reason to believe that The Division 1 will get a definitive edition sometime in 2026. We know that Ubisoft is working on a third entry, which is reportedly shaping up to be a quote-unquote monster, and I think that alone should have Division fans very excited. But the idea that we can also go back and play the classic, which still looks stunning all of these years later, I think is also a really fun idea. The reason for these rumors, though, is because of a banner for the Division Definitive Edition was recently spotted at the FPS X event in Japan. I'll include the Twitter post on screen here for you to take a look at, but as long as this turns out to be true, then it kind of seems like somebody may have goofed and, announced it a bit early. And that's kind of the thing about Ubisoft right now. It sounds like they are sitting on a few different announcements that could come at any moment, including the Assassin's Creed Black Flag remake and then also the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake. In fact, it was recently spotted that the Prince of Persia Sands of Time remake websites from different regions have been updating one by one with their status switching from active to inactive. And that makes it seem like Ubisoft, is currently working on something in the background. And just given all of the different rumors that it will get its re-reveal in the early part of 2026, it just kind of seems like an announcement is imminent by this point. I mean, I almost wonder if they're preparing a Ubisoft Forward for all of these announcements, but I guess we'll see sometime soon. And since we're talking about showcases, let's just go and talk about the upcoming Xbox Developer Direct, because one of its big announcements seemingly leaked out a bit early, and that's the release date for Forza Horizon 6. Now, I've said time and time again that despite this year possibly being the biggest lineup ever for Xbox with games like Halo, Fable, Gears, and Forza, I actually believe that Forza Horizon 6 will end up being their most popular game from a number standpoint. I think it's going to sell a ton of units, and especially if it ends up being a multi-platform release. Now, we'll see about that because there's different rumors floating around currently, but today, Xbox Infinite posted this on Twitter. It's allegedly a marketing image for Forza Horizon 6, and it reads, "Pre-order now and get a pre-tuned and exclusive Ferrari J50 in Forza Horizon 6. Discover the breathtaking landscapes of Japan in over 550 real-world cars and become a racing legend in Forza Horizon's biggest open-world driving adventure yet. Pre-order Forza Horizon 6 Premium Edition or get the premium upgrade featuring early access, play 4 days early starting on May 15th. And that right there is the most notable part to this leak. I mean, it also talks about a welcome pack, a car pass, and 2 premium expansions, and all of that's really cool and everything. But if this image is in fact correct, that means that it will be out on May 19th or the 15th if you get the early access edition. And I actually think that this is fairly believable because various leaks have already pointed to an early 2026 launch. So this is not the first time that we've heard something like this, but I mean, this also kind of narrows it down to the exact day. So we'll see what happens, but Xbox's first major game of 2026 might be a lot closer than a lot of people realize. Now, the other bit of Xbox news, though, that's been going around is Project Mara, the old Ninja Theory project that was revealed years ago. I mean, there was never really much known about this project other than the fact that its realism was state of the art. I mean, it looks absolutely excellent. But now, thanks to Jez on the latest episode of the Xbox 2 podcast, he said that I've heard that you guys shouldn't expect Project Mara to be a thing. Project Mara was just a concept. It's not a game, and it's not a game that they're currently working on. It might be something they work on eventually, but Project Mara is not a game that's currently being worked on at Ninja Theory. So admittedly, some people might be a bit disappointed about that because there was this idea that it was going to be this really cool psychological horror game. And I mean, we've seen Ninja Theory's capabilities in Hellblade. It seems like that's a premise that they could do a lot with, especially with their sound design team. But if there is a silver lining to this news, Jez also said, from what I understand, the next game is Hellblade 3, and it's going to be a bit more interactive than Hellblade 1 and Hellblade 2. I don't know the exact nature of what Hellblade 3 is going to be like, if it's even going to be Hellblade 3, but it does sound like it's going to be in the Hellblade universe, and it does sound like they want to make it more of a game and broaden its appeal to some degree. And personally, I think that in itself is really exciting. I mean, I understand the last entry was a bit polarizing. I get that. But the first Hellblade was absolutely amazing. And I think there's still a lot that they could do with its universe if only they would push the gameplay a bit more, which it sounds like that's exactly what they're going to do with the next entry. So, I mean, Hellblade 3 or whatever they want to call it, I'm all for that. But what do you all think? Are you excited for another Hellblade experience, or do you wish they would have gone with a new IP like Project Mara instead? All right, now one more thing before we go, though, because rumors exploded last night that a significant update for the PlayStation 5 Pro is almost here. And that's kind of the thing about this rumor. On one side, I think it is believable because Mark Cerny himself has pointed to 2026 for the first big PSSR update. But even still, I would take this information with a grain of salt for the time being. Nonetheless, though, somebody posted a summary of all of the different PS5 Pro rumors floating around, and you can see it here. Allegedly, a major update for PSSR 2.0 for PS5 Pro is finally coming. The summary of the rumors includes an update timing is around January to March, implementation of a feature very similar to FSR 4 on PS5 Pro, improved image quality and performance compared to before, frame rates boosted even for games that were capped at 70 to 80 FPS, low-resolution classic games also upscaled to high resolution, and also it allegedly has new debugging tools prepared for developers. And all that sounds really good on paper because if I'm being completely honest about things, the PlayStation 5 Pro up to this point has largely been a disappointment. And that's coming from somebody who owns a PS5 Pro, and it was actually among my most played platforms last year, only behind the Nintendo Switch 2. However, the issue has been that PSSR implementation has been kind of wonky, with various different games, including some pretty major titles like Silent Hill F as one such example. It just adds so much shimmering to its image quality that it becomes highly distracting, and the hope for the 2.0 update is that it will fix those type of issues. I mean, some of the rumors have mentioned things like improved image quality, so, I mean, we'll see, and like I said, there is an update on the way. That's already been confirmed by PlayStation themselves, but as to what it will improve and to when it will release, that officially remains to be seen. If anything else, though, I hope this rumor turns out to be true because it sounds fairly good on paper. Anyways, though, that's going to be it for this episode, but until next time, make sure to subscribe, ring that bell, and peace out.